Donald Trump declared the airspace above Venezuela closed. Strap in, folks. This could be the big one. Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. Before we get started, I'd just like to give a shout out to today's holiday sponsor. 2025 is almost over, and a lot of us are falling in the same trap of waiting till January 1st to start something new. But you don't need a new year to make a new start. AI was one of the most in-demand skills of 2025, but most of us just didn't. And that puts us at risk of falling behind or even being replaced. The good news is you still have a month to learn AI and step into 2026 more skilled, knowledgeable, and employable. Let me tell you about the 2-day live AI mastermind training by Outskill, the world's first AI-focused educational platform. It's happening this Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Time on both days. Now, this is usually a paid training worth $395, but Outskill is running a year-end holiday offer. So, if you sign up through my link, it's completely free. More than 10 million people have already attended this training across fields like engineering, data, marketing, and finance. In just 16 hours of training, you'll learn how to use AI to simplify your daily tasks, build AI agents that plan, create, and automate your workflows, design AI automations that connect tools like Sheets, Notion, and CRMs, gain ready-to-use AI systems for your job, business, or freelance projects. Plus, when you complete the training, you'll receive 3 special bonuses: a prompt Bible, a roadmap to monetize AI, and a personalized AI toolkit builder. These bonuses alone are worth more than $5,000. So this holiday season, gift this opportunity to someone who you think could benefit from knowing AI in 2026. Seats are limited, so click the link in the description. And now, on with today's episode. On Saturday, Donald Trump made a post on Truth Social telling all airlines, pilots, drug dealers, and human traffickers that the airspace above and surrounding Venezuela was hereby closed. Wait, can he just do that? Well, technically, there is a more official way of setting up a no-fly zone. Normally, you get a resolution from the UN Security Council. Then you issue a notice to the International Civil Aviation Organization. Then, finally, you have aviation authorities like the FAA issue their own notices to air missions or NOTAMs. These are instructions telling planes to avoid certain areas. Now, on November 21st, the FAA did issue a NOTAM for Venezuelan airspace. What this does is legally prevent American planes from going over to Venezuela. But it also affects other countries' airlines, since the insurance you need to buy for a plane heading into a potential war zone is really expensive. As a result, most of the airlines servicing Venezuela suspended flights in and out of the country. Maduro took the news pretty badly and revoked the operating rights of 6 of those airlines. And that just sounds like sour grapes to me. Oh, you're leaving? Well, I didn't want you here anyway. Go on, get out. As a result, virtually all air traffic in and around Venezuela has dried up. Only a handful of small domestic flights remain. So to answer your question, yes, when you're the American president and you command the largest military in the world, you can unilaterally shut down another country's airspace with a tweet, or a truth in this case. So what's this all leading up to? Well, no-fly zones are usually what come right before something really bad happens. Or really good if you work in the news industry. What? I'm not a monster. Basically, what the no-fly zone means is that there's about to be some shooting, and neither side wants civilians getting in the way. Nobody wants a repeat of the time the Soviets accidentally shot down a South Korean airline, killing 269 innocent people. Plus, Trump said that the U.S. will soon take action against Venezuelan drug traffickers on land anyways. And by drug traffickers, he really means Maduro. The U.S. designated the Cartel de los Soles, which Maduro supposedly heads, as a terrorist organization last month. I actually did a whole episode on Venezuela's weird socialist narco state, so check that one out if you want to learn more. But why is Trump doing this? I mean, if this was really about drugs, he'd be trying to take out all the fentanyl labs in China, right? Venezuelan gangs mainly traffic in cocaine, which is bad, but when you compare overdose deaths from cocaine to things like fentanyl, it's just a completely different ballgame. Just look at these stats from the National Institute on Drug Abuse. I guess in a worst case scenario, a flood of Venezuelan cocaine into America might cause disco to come back. Ugh, I get the chills just thinking about it. Okay, so if drugs are just a smokescreen, no pun intended, maybe it's about Venezuela's oil. Venezuela does have the largest proven oil reserves on Earth, which is why Maduro apparently offered the U.S. a dominant stake in Venezuela's oil and mineral wealth in exchange for easing tensions. Okay, great, Trump must have been happy. I mean, how many times have we heard this guy say, take the oil?
Take the oil. If it's me, we take the oil.
I assume we're taking the oil. Are we taking the oil? Take the oil! And I come out, front page news, oh, Trump is a horrible human being. He wants to take the oil from a sovereign country. Sovereign, give me a break.
But Trump doesn't seem to be taking the bait. Truth is, Venezuela's oil industry isn't a gift anyone actually wants. According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, over the last decade, Venezuelan crude output has fallen off a cliff. The problems really started during the reign of Venezuela's last socialist dictator, Hugo Chavez, after he expropriated all of the big foreign-owned oil companies. This caused foreign investment and expertise to leave, and the decline only got worse under Maduro, whose policy is basically to steal anything that isn't bolted down. So, offering to hand over Venezuela's petroleum sector to the U.S. is more like asking, hey, America, want to rebuild our economy for us? We totally won't just steal all your equipment again. Promise! But the conflict we're seeing isn't really about drugs or oil. It's about influence. As an authoritarian basket case, the Venezuelan regime naturally found friends in China, Russia, Iran, and Cuba. I did another episode on how China and Russia specifically are using countries like Venezuela to try and fight the U.S. in its own backyard. Be sure to check that one out too. Maduro called on his allies to help prepare for an American attack, asking for things like radar systems, missiles, and aircraft repair. But even with foreign support, Venezuela is still woefully equipped to deal with, again, the biggest and most advanced military on the planet. So while Beijing and Moscow were happy to send Maduro their thoughts and prayers, it looks like they're going to sit this one out. Heck, even Cuba told Maduro, you're on your own, man. With friends like these, am I right? So what can Maduro even do at this point? Besides getting vaporized by a J-dam? Well, Trump offered to give Maduro and his family safe passage out of Venezuela should he decide to step down. But that might not be an option. Some U.S. officials reportedly believe Cuban intelligence agents have taken control of much of Venezuela's security and would execute Maduro if he tried leaving the country. So if the options are between an American B-2 and a trigger-happy Cuban handler, Maduro's choice is pretty clear. Guess I'll die. Whatever happens, Venezuela is in for a rough time. Between the grinding poverty, armed biker gangs, state-run cartels, and fierce opposition forces, taking out Maduro would almost certainly lead to a civil war. And it looks like we'll soon find out whether or not Trump is ready to press that button. In any case, don't expect to be taking any trips to Maracaibo anytime soon. Because, you can't. What do you think? Leave a comment below. I do read as many as I can. And don't get left behind when everyone else is learning how to use AI. Click below and book your slot for OutSkills AI training this weekend. I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching.